Hey there, Nancy Drew Clue crew! My name is Michael Gray, and today I'm playing Nancy Drew Secrets Can Kill Remastered. This is a remake of the first Nancy Drew game. I am playing it as part of the 2014 Mega Nancy Drew Games Marathon. I'm playing every single Nancy Drew game in preparation for game number 30 coming out next month.
Hi, I'm Nancy Drew. This is my center of operations, my desk. Go ahead and poke around. If you want to know the particulars of how I do what I do, take a look at the book titled How to Be a Detective. It's real helpful, especially if you're new to the mystery-solving business.
So here's the case file. We're going to get an explanation, I think. Somebody named Jake Rogers was killed, and Detective Beach has hired Nancy to solve the case. I'm going to play on Senior Detective mode.
Dear Dad, who would have dreamed taking a vacation to visit Aunt Eloise in Florida would result in another case? Seems a student named Jake Rogers was murdered at the high school last week, and an undercover police detective wants me to pose as a student to search for any leads at the school. So, it's undercover I go. I'm calling this case Secrets Can Kill. Love, Nancy.
So this is a game, basically the same as the first game in the series. Couple of changes. There's no Detective Beach in the original game. So this is a puzzle, Sigma, Phi, Kappa, Delta. That's the combination for the safe. Sigma, Phi, Kappa, Delta. Inside the safe we have the key, which is important. And here is a puzzle which is not necessarily something you need to solve. I'm going to try to beat this game somewhat quickly. I'm playing this game live in front of a studio audience. Hello, everybody in the studio audience. So somebody in a studio audience is saying this is basically nothing like the book it was based on. Yeah, it's not really. Really, it's not. Okay, so where is the missing piece? Where does the missing piece go? That's my question here. Bottom right-hand corner. Okay, cool. That's the problem with slider puzzles. They don't tell you where the missing pieces go. You have to figure them out yourself. Alright, this is clearly a left-hand corner piece. Put that piece there just for the moment. Okay, so we're gonna need Nancy's arm there, right? Is that what we're looking for? I'm just getting the left-hand row in place. That's all I'm doing here. For those of you who are wondering what strange manner of witchcraft I am performing, that's what it is. Let's do the next column. The next column is clearly Nancy's head on top. Next we want Nancy's bosom in place. Which means I'm gonna have to mess around a bit. Okay. And people are saying, hey, these puzzles take forever. They certainly do. So someone is asking if this... What is this picture? Is this from an original 1930s Nancy Drew book? No. No. I have seen all 4 of the Nancy Drew books made in 1930, and this is not one of them. I think this is the Nancy Drew and the mystery of the person who's solving the mystery. I wonder what goes in the right-hand corner. Is it this? Yeah, I'm gonna say that's the right-hand corner. Okay. Which means I'm gonna have to separate these pieces for a moment. Ugh. Slider puzzles can be such a hassle, can't they? Alright, so that piece goes there, and that piece obviously goes there, and that piece goes there, and that piece goes there, there, down, left, up, right. Now just move the pieces around, and we're finished. Which gives us the password for Nancy's her login for the computer, but you can actually do that login without solving the puzzle. Yeah, the game kind of cheats that way. I kind of prefer the book to the game. It's nice. It's a nice book. So one of the things they did is that the book, a third of the way through the book is when the murder occurs. So the game switches the timeline around to after Jake is killed, whereas you know, in the book Nancy meets Jake and she talks with him before he gets murdered. So I kind of thought that was nice. You know, Jake was just a really, really horrible person, and we'll get a sense of that later on, but, you know, that makes it a little bit harder to solve the mystery. Everybody hates Jake, and whatever, let's just keep going.
Nancy Drew, Detective Beach here. How are you?
Good, and yourself?
Frustrated, Nancy. I need some leads, and you're my man. Well, woman, teen, student, whatever. I'll be at Maxine's Diner. Come see me when you found out anything. All contact should be through me.
Can do. So what's our cover?
Our what?
Our cover. Who should I say you are if anyone sees us and asks?
Oh, right. I'll be your uncle. Uncle Steve. I gotta go now. If you need anything else, come see me at Maxine's. I'm wearing glasses and a green striped shirt.
So, Steve. Glasses, green striped shirt. Oh, Steve. Ah, so that's what happened to Steve after being in Blue's Clues.
Welcome to Maxine's. I'm Daryl Gray. I don't think I've seen you here before.
My name's Nancy Drew. I just moved down here.
Then you'll be attending Paseo Del Mar High. I'm your student council president.
Okay, so somebody asked, well, if the murder happens during the book, why is Nancy at the high school? Series of mysterious accidents at the high school. Yeah, series of mysterious accidents at the high school. Nancy figures out that Jake is responsible, and then Jake is murdered, which means she now has another mystery. She has to figure out who was killing Jake and why.
If there's anything you need, just let me know.
Thanks. I might just take you up on that offer.
So, what can I do for you?
So this is Daryl Gray. Daryl is Nancy's romantic interest in the book. The two of them make out. It's awkward.
Tell me about Paseo Del Mar High.
It's a great school. Good teachers, nice students, lots of after-school activities. It's just too bad what happened.
What happened?
One of the students was murdered in the school last week.
Dun 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 dun.
Who was murdered?
A senior named Jake Rogers. He worked here, but I didn't really know him. He kept mainly to himself.
That's terrible.
I know. They only now just reopened the school.
Who did it?
No one knows, and the police are keeping pretty clammed up about it. But my resources say they're calling in some special detective, maybe even the FBI.
Wow, you must have some special contacts.
Just special enough to see beautiful women like yourself.
What do you mean?
Get it? Contacts? I'm wearing contacts that let me see pretty women.
Awkward.
I should get back to work. Nice meeting you, Nancy.
So yes, in the book, he is more handsome, and, he's the romantic interest. He has, like chocolate almond eyes and long blonde hair. And
See you later.
Later.
when Nancy touches him, it's electric. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So that's the book. So I'm going to solve this puzzle even though it's optional. Kind of a crazy puzzle here. Dear Daryl, I need to break off our date to the Sadie Hawkins dance. I'm sorry, but something came up. Connie. Oh yeah, that's something which is completely different from the book, too. Okay, so this is the puzzle. You need to fix the line, otherwise... Explosion! Explosion. Double explosion. So people in the studio audience are asking if they think Daryl Gray is cute or not. The consensus seems to be no. An interesting puzzle. This looks incredibly unsafe and ridiculous, but that's the puzzle. Well designed in that, the explosion doesn't happen until you leave the room, and the item you need is here in the room. So even if you don't have the soup ladle ahead of time, you can still solve the puzzle. And hidden clues are everywhere, like this. This is hidden clue. It says check CHECK Yuri. Basically, it's the same, I think it's the same puzzle as, in White Wolf of Icicle Creek, that code.
Looks like something was removed here.
And for example, here's another one, and you'll notice we have a bunch of clues which are listed as this, HGL3. Nancy's going to put this in her, notebooks. Suspects, observations, HGL3, TEL3. That's for an overarching puzzle. That's what she needs them for. Let's talk to Uncle Steve from Blue's Clues. Blues could do, he can too. Whoa! Blues could do, Uncle Steve. Everybody's dancing.
Uncle Steve!
Nancy! Why, I haven't seen you since, for a long time. How's your...
Good cover-up, Uncle
Aunt
Steve.
Eloise. Oh, she's fine. And Dad says hello.
You're staying with your aunt, right?
Yes.
So, what do you got for me?
Well, I was hoping you could debrief me on the investigation.
Oh, sure. I'm just a bit... Well, my undercover assignments are usually not so... suburban.
I understand.
The victim was a senior named Jake Rogers. As usual, none of the family, teachers, or students know about any enemies he may have had. Nothing came up from searching his home, computer, cell phone, or locker. His bank records tell a different story. He had a fairly large savings account and a lot of cash deposits. We suspect he was involved in something shady. Drugs, gambling, or blackmail. That's where you fit in. Talk to the students and see what you can find out. We think he might have kept information about his activities in a notebook or journal. So keep a lookout for anything like that. Anything else?
Do.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, Nancy.
So that's basically, this is all brand new stuff, too. The Notebook storyline. We'll find the video that Jake had. Jake had a video which he used to blackmail people with. He had a big blackmail video, which Nancy finds partway through her investigation. And everything here is a puzzle. Everything here is a puzzle. So we've got a puzzle. Mostly the puzzles are hidden messages. Hidden messages that you can solve. In the interest of time, I'm going to skip them. Also, Jake. Ooh, hey, Nancy Drew. Cameras. Books. Bubbles. Dread Isle. I like the canoeing one. But, let me see. So Jake, to spell out Jake, it's Jake 5253. So that is his locker combination. Conveniently, his locker combination has the same thing as his name. Right. Yeah, and in the book, Nancy goes through Jake's locker where she finds a bunch of evidence. So this is taken directly from the book. This is new in the game. We have a masked competitor who is great at judo. This is also new. They sort of changed it here, but I'll explain the change later. Same basic storyline. And somebody has broken into a pharmacy. This is all brand new, too. This was not in the book. And we need to talk to Hulk.
Whoa, a new girl at school. Do you realize what destiny has brought you today? Yours truly, Hector Sanchez. But you can just call me the Hulk.
Hey, Hulk. How's it going, buddy?
How did you know I was new here?
Hey, you're talking to the man, the #1 football player in the state of Florida. I know all the beautiful girls at Paseo Del Mar High. Are you kidding?
Who do you play for?
You are new around here. I play for the Manatees, one of the best teams in the state. I leave the others in the dirt, man. Soon it's college ball, and then the pros. Showtime.
So all of these options that Nancy's picking for dialogue are directly from the first game in the series. They kept the same dialogue options, which is a nice touch. But if you're wondering why the dialogue options seem kind of weird, or why Nancy's suddenly having 3 options, that's why.
College ball?
Yeah, I'm playing great football this year. And I'm expecting an offer from a Big Ten school any day now.
They changed the dialogue a little bit. In the original game, he says he wants to play for the Miami Dolphins, but here it's just a
Big Ten
football
school?
team.
What will you major in?
Football! I'm destined to become a college star and then turn pro. Then, when I'm famous, jerks like Jake Rogers will eat my socks for breakfast.
Does Jake Rogers' death concern you?
Why should it? I have a big future ahead of me. That's all that concerns me. Sorry, can't talk now. I gotta go to practice. Later.
Okay, so,
How's it going?
we just need to talk to Hulk to make sure he exists. That's part of the puzzle here. But I'm going to talk to him about everything.
Drug station pharmacy.
Why would I know about a robbery? All I know about is football.
What can you tell me about Daryl Gray?
He seems like a cool guy. His family used to sponsor the annual football awards dinner until last year. You know, he's the one who found Jake's body.
Do you know why Jake had an empty video cassette case in his locker?
I didn't pay much attention to Jake. I'm tired of talking about that loser.
I'll talk to you later.
Bye, Nancy.
See, it makes a bit more sense in the book, where Jake was actively blackmailing the Hulk, and so we know why he refuses to talk about Jake. But here it's more like Hulk is a jerk who just doesn't want to talk about the guy who just died. And this is the new puzzle. They introduced this puzzle in the game.
Great, you broke it!
We set off the alarm on the soda machine! One of the hidden messages says that you can do that, so that's why I did it. Yay, hidden messages. Is it this one? No, that's... actually, that might be it. Yeah, this is a hidden message that says, grape, grape, orange, cool. Rings the alarm at the school. So now I'm going to the library, where you can explore and read things from the other Nancy Drew games. Jake was here, and here's the Vampire Diaries. So this is Jake's chair. And if you want to, you can go through the shelves and find books. Oh. Huh. What was that? Was that the alarm being fixed? Yeah, so for example, this is from Nancy Drew, the 6th game, or The Secret of the Scarlet Hand. And I like this particular picture, which was in the original, but I don't think we can see it. It's the picture from the Captive Curse, but it was in the original game. I liked how they decided to reuse that old picture. So 2 things we need to look at. Not Marie Antoinette. We need to look at the kanji. Kanji for crane. And we also need to look at this.
Hectanol is a steroid and was one of the drugs stolen at the drug station.
I like Nancy. I mean, people are right with Hulk. Hulk, I need to go to practice, and then he stays in place. So these pictures are new. These are all brand new. These are all fan art. Her Interactive had a contest, said people, hey, send in your pictures and we'll put them in the game. So this looks like a Haunting of Castle Malloy picture. I don't recognize that one. That's Mel. This is another Haunting of Castle Malloy picture. This is a Sunny June and Poppy Dada picture. That's a Nancy Drew. Another Nancy Drew picture. Yeah, so they had people send in fan art, and they also had people send in their, yeah, here's more fan art. White Wolf Bicycle Creek, Nancy Drew. Those are obviously characters from Nancy Drew's series. Oh, old clock, huh? Very nice. The Skeleton Man, nice. I like these pictures. They're good. Oh, it's still going. The alarm is still going. Okay. So they had people send in fan art, and they also had people send in pictures of themselves to be part of the game. They would use pictures of fans of the game, and the pictures are right here! Yeah! Take a look at Mr. September. Know who that is? Know who that is? That's me right there! I am Mr. September at Paseo Del Mar High School Student of the Month. Yeah, I am Mr. September. Alright. Oh yeah. I am so excited. This is why it's my favorite Nancy Drew game. It's because my picture is in the Nancy Drew game. I am so happy I won that contest.
Nancy, you can't go in there. That's off limits for you.
And this is Connie.
Hi, I'm Connie. You're not from around here, are you? Usually, Paseo Del Mar High is really quiet and boring. Lately, it's been totally out of control.
Out of control?
One of the students was killed last week.
Who was killed?
Oh, just this wannabe stud named Jake Rogers.
Wannabe stud?
Jake Rogers was a total creep. Nobody liked him. I gotta go now. Later.
Okay, so, Connie, a bit different from the way she is in the book. In the book, she's sort of the fat, unpopular girl who sort of wishes... She really, really wishes that she could ask Daryl out on a date, but he's too popular to ever want to go out with a girl like her. And here she's different. She's the hall monitor.
Hey, Nancy, need something?
But she still likes Daryl Gray, so, you know, they kept that plot line.
How well do you know Daryl Gray?
I wish I knew him better. He's the only guy I'd ever consider dating. He's student council president, holds a cool job at a diner called Maxine's, and drives a Seaback X80.
Drives a sports car and works at a diner? That doesn't compute.
Yeah, I don't get it either. Daryl's family was rich and used to throw major parties all the time, but not anymore.
Have you seen any of those weird messages on the bulletin boards?
Yes, and if I catch the guy who's doing it, he's going to be in big trouble. I bet it's the same person who keeps on setting off the soda machine alarm.
I guess that comes with the territory of being a school monitor.
Normally it's not this hectic. When I figure out who's been pulling all these pranks.
Do you know why Jake had an empty video cassette case in his locker?
No. Why are you so interested in Jake anyway?
He was killed.
I gotta go now. Later.
And she stays in place.
Nancy, I'm starting to wonder about you.
No, seriously, the guy was killed. Why is it weird that I'm interested in this person who was killed?
What do you know about Hulk Sanchez?
He's a big jock on campus. Never dated him or anything.
Why did you break your date with Daryl to the Sadie Hawkins dance?
It's a long story.
A long, long story.
Your medallion has a symbol that means crane, and Crane is the name of the judo school on the poster in the gym.
What a coincidence. Funny, I never noticed.
I gotta go now, later.
I gotta go now. Later.
Yes.
Hey, Nancy, need something?
Someone set off the alarm on the soda machine again.
Watch the fort while I'm gone.
So that soda machine puzzle was there on purpose. And looks like this is a breakup letter between her and she's just about how much she loves Daryl. Daryl Gray in his fancy car. He does have a fancy car, by the way. It's very fancy. They mentioned this in the book. Mr. September! Whoa! He has a fancy car and it explodes. Oh, do I not have the key to the... Oh, I guess I don't have the key to the area. Well, that makes it difficult for me to solve the puzzle of getting into the teacher's thing.
Hi, my name's Nancy Drew.
And Hal Tanaka, everybody. This is Hal Tanaka, our final character.
What's your name?
Hal Tanaka. Actually, my first name is much longer than that. But I want to fit in here in America, so I chose Hal as my nickname. I'm a Japanese exchange student.
Why do you think it's easier to have an American name?
I want to be part of the culture and succeed in this country.
Why do you admire Americans?
They're such open people.
Yeah!
I admire the freedom here. If you work hard enough, you can achieve anything. Most of the students were cool when I first arrived. But there were a few, like Jake Rogers, who weren't as friendly towards me. Sometimes I feel lonely and far away from my family. And Jake was someone who never made me feel welcome here.
How did Jake make you feel unwelcome?
I feel uncomfortable.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. So, the key to the teacher's lounge should be here. Let me show you what happens if you don't solve this puzzle correctly. Second chance.
That was a mistake.
Aunt Eloise has major security. Oh man, okay. So, was the key inside here? I already solved this puzzle. Where's the key to the teacher's lounge? Right, it's gotta be in the other room. So Hal Tanaka, the only person with the exact same voice, well, besides for Nancy. Everybody else had a new voice for this version of the game. Besides for Hal and Nancy. Let's talk to Daryl.
What can I do for you?
Do you know Connie Watson?
Not that well. She keeps to herself a lot. I've always thought there's something mysterious about her. Kind of the same way I feel about you.
Thanks for the compliment, but I'm already seeing someone.
That's cool. I'm just saying, not playing.
Do you know why Connie broke your date to the Sadie Hawkins dance?
No, it was really weird. But what was even weirder is that she took Jake instead of me. Like I said, she's mysterious.
What can you tell me about Hal Tanaka?
Hal's an exchange student who's all scholarships and study. He's very intense about becoming a doctor.
Didn't I hear that you found Jake's body?
Yeah, I did. The student council president gets keys to the school. We had an early morning council meeting and I found him lying there. It was the worst thing I ever experienced in my life. And I really don't want to think about it right now.
How well do you know Hulk Sanchez?
Big guy, big muscles, big dreams. A lot of football scouts have been coming over to watch him play. He must be under a lot of pressure to perform.
Talk to you later.
See ya.
So in the book, Daryl is Nancy's contact. Daryl and the principal are the only ones that know she's an undercover detective. So these prices are insane. The double triple biggie, well, $7 for a six burger is not that bad. But the Daryl, oh, actually these aren't so bad. But $10 for the Maxine? These prices are actually reasonable. I was going to complain about the prices, but I guess I was wrong.
Hi, Nancy.
How can I get into the teacher's lounge?
Look, Nancy, maybe this assignment isn't for you. I can't be holding your hand all the time. Your job is to come to me with solutions, not problems.
When the police looked through Jake's locker, did they take a videotape?
No. We didn't. You're thinking there's something important on that tape. Important enough that Jake hid it.
Something like that.
Good lead. Find that videotape, Nancy.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Okay, back to school. Connie is probably going to be here again. Yeah, okay. Let's talk to Hal. The important conversation is you need to talk to him about Hulk Sanchez, and you need to talk to the Hulk before you can open up this conversation.
Have you heard of Hulk Sanchez?
Heard of him? Hulk holds the conference record for quarterback sacks. He's been the state's #1 player since he was a freshman. He's also a candidate for a big university, even with his injury.
Injury?
Hulk got hurt a few weeks ago. Ever since that game, he hasn't played the same. I worry that his chances of playing for a top school are not as good as before his injury.
So that's important.
Bye.
See you later, Nancy.
Finding out about Hulk having an injury.
I'm not into pushy girls. Do me a favor and bother someone else.
What can you tell me about Connie Watson?
She hangs out at the gym a lot. I heard she's been having a real tough time.
Why do you think she hangs out at the gym so much?
I don't know. She's a pretty good athlete, but never joined any of Paseo Del Mar's teams.
Why not?
Not exactly sure.
You said she was having a tough time?
I heard she's been having some money problems.
Do you know Hal Tanaka?
That dude is always studying. He's a huge fan of mine. Real smart guy. But I never understood why a brain like Tanaka would hang out with slime like Jake.
Fan?
Tanaka never missed a game. That is until he started hanging out with Jake.
Hal was a friend of Jake's?
Let's just say I saw them talking together a lot. Jake's locker was right next to Hal's.
But they weren't really friends. Is that what you're saying?
Jake didn't really have friends, and Hal, he may seem pretty chill, but I've seen him crack a couple of times. He's seriously uptight.
Crack a couple of times?
He's got a temper, a bad one. He lets the pressure build and build until he's wound so tight the slightest thing sets him off. Like last week, I strike him out during gym, and he goes ballistic and charges the mount. He's got some serious issues. Now that I think of it, last time I saw them together, Hal seemed pretty upset.
That seems like fan fiction right there.
I'm really sorry you got injured. Does that affect your chances of playing college ball?
I had a little sprain, no big deal. Within a week, I was better than before, and impressing the football scouts. Oh, I'm as strong as ever.
I gotta go.
Bye.
Yeah, interesting line of dialogue. We're not going to get a follow-up on it, but it's still interesting. So what was it? Grape, orange, cool?
Get Connie over here to fix it!
Jeez, Hulk, calm down.
Hey, Nancy, need something?
Hulk told me money's been tight for you these days.
But what a dork! Hulk Sanchez doesn't know the first thing about my life. He needs to get a life and stop talking about mine.
Oh, burn.
Do you know Hal Tanaka?
Not very well. He's an exchange student from Japan and a total workaholic. He told me he's trying to get more scholarships for college. Lately, he's been looking really burnt out. I think the pressure's getting to him.
What pressure?
I guess it's a big deal for his family that he get into a good school on a free ride.
Someone set off the alarm on the soda machine again.
Watch the fort while I'm gone.
So in the original book, Hal is just, he's an American, not a Japanese exchange student, and he's just the smartest kid in the school, that's all.
This looks exactly like the one in Jake's locker.
So Hal is a plagiarist. Dun dun dun. Now, in the original book, it's similar but different. He is not actually a plagiarist. He actually steals the answers for the SATs. And that's how he's a cheater in the original book. You can see it's the same thing. He's cheating in order to get good grades, but slightly different. One, he's copying out of a book, and the other, he's stealing SAT scores. Oh dear. And passwords. The password for the maintenance room is note, which is important. And you can read this if you want to. This is a security detail report. Which says that all of our characters, donuts, all of our characters were at the scene during the murder, which is sad.
Hello?
You better stop your nosy nosing, or it'll get bent way out of shape.
Dun dun dun. Nancy just got a threatening phone message from somebody. Mitch Dillon. He was the culprit in the original.
Dillon, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and cooling. How may I help you?
Hi, this is Nancy Drew. You called me and threatened me?
No, I didn't.
What? No.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yes, you did. I saw your caller ID number.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. I'm sorry, miss, if you're having trouble with your air conditioning. We'll send a technician to find a permanent solution.
I'm not talking about air conditioning. I'm talking about you threatening me.
I didn't threaten you.
Look, I'm not going to play this game with you.
Meaning Mitch Dillon. Okay, so, what are we doing now? We are going to confront Hal about the fact that he is a plagiarist. And let's talk to him about everything.
Watson?
Yes, we've been in a few classes together. I think she was dating Jake Rogers.
Connie told me you study too hard. Is that true?
Connie doesn't know my study habits. I can handle my studies. I'm behind in my studies and I must get back to the library. Bye, Nancy.
I love it. I can handle my studies. Whoa, hold on, I'm behind in my studies. Yes.
What can you tell me about Daryl Gray?
He's very popular and a good politician, too. Just like his father.
Like his father?
I hear he was a great politician, but not a very good businessman. I think his company went bankrupt a few years ago.
Do you know why Jake had an empty video cassette case in his locker?
I didn't know Jake was interested in video. I avoided him whenever I could.
You plagiarized your senior essay on etiquette, and Jake knew about it.
Yes, Nancy. I'm very ashamed. My family will be extremely unhappy about this terrible mistake I have made. Somehow, Jake found out I copied that old essay. Then he blackmailed me into doing his homework for him.
Why did you copy the essay?
I had no other choice. My family won't let me stay in the United States unless I get a scholarship next year. I had to take extra courses to earn the scholarship. Before I realized what I had done, I was buried in work. I copied the essay because I was desperate.
What happened when Jake found out?
Jake demanded I do all his homework for the rest of the semester, or he would tell my family everything. What else could I do? My family was depending on me to succeed.
Were you desperate enough to kill him?
I was not happy about the situation, but I would never kill anyone. I value human life. Please don't tell anyone about this. I beg you. You will gain nothing if you do, and it would destroy my family if they knew what really happened. I regret what I have done. Please let me have this chance to become a doctor. I promise to make up for this mistake. even if it takes the rest of my life.
If you didn't kill Jake, do you have any idea who did?
When I delivered Jake's homework to him the other day, he mentioned being late for a meeting with Daryl Gray. It was very strange. I didn't know they were friends.
See you later.
See you later, Nancy.
So everybody is questioning how Nancy got Mitch's name. Because caller ID doesn't really show people's names, it just shows their phone numbers. Clearly what Nancy did was, off camera, she typed in his name along with his phone number. Clearly, that's what happened. I mean, obviously.
Hey, gorgeous. Glad you stopped by.
Daryl, I appreciate the compliment, but I'm seeing someone else.
Hey, I'm just saying what I'm seeing.
So, what's been going on?
Well, your uncle isn't here, if that's who you're looking for. I'm sorry for saying this, but he's kind of a Mr. Cranky Pants.
How so?
He's on edge from drinking all of our coffee, and last week he seriously freaked out on me.
What happened?
I don't know. He lost something in the diner and accused us of stealing it. He went kind of psycho.
Hal Tanaka told me Jake said he had a meeting with you once. But I thought you said you hardly knew him.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he had to talk to me about work.
Someone said you were caught soaping up the windows on the teacher's lounge.
Yeah, I totally got busted. It was a senior prank. I had to spend 2 days in detention.
Wasn't that the night Jake was murdered?
Yeah, I guess it was. Never really thought about that.
Do you know why Jake had an empty video cassette case in his locker?
Why were you in Jake's locker?
I'm working undercover for the police to investigate the murder.
Oh.
Oh.
Good one! You, an undercover detective? But seriously, I have no idea. What else can I do for you?
All of these people in this game have such big mood swings. I have no idea. Dead serious.
Bye.
Oh, before I forget, someone left this note for you. It was on the counter when I got back from break.
So this is the trigger for basically the end of the game.
Bye, Nancy.
You need to trigger getting that message. I don't know the fastest way to trigger the message. I have an idea of what to do, but I think I did it wrong. Anyway, got the message. It said to meet us in the boiler room. Now, the boiler room, the password is... the password is NOTE, N-O-T-E. And that was what it said on that thingy-me-bobber. Thingy-me-bobber. Thingy-me-bobber? What's a thingy-me-bobber? No, it said it on the computer. In Aunt Eloise's computer. The computer in the teacher's lounge said that. And there's a book in the library about Braille, which helped you figure that out. Now this is another puzzle. This is interesting, because if you don't solve the puzzle in time, the boiler room is going to explode. And it's an interesting puzzle, because this is nowhere in the actual book. In the book, Nancy overhears something in the boiler room, and she goes inside and she sees Jake threatening the Hulk. And then he gets all sleazy and tries to flirt with her, which is nasty. Yeah. That is, Jake does, not Hulk. Hulk doesn't try to flirt with Nancy. But yeah, that's when she first meets Jake and realizes this guy's probably a culprit. So we want to make those things look like that. And explosion time. And people are saying Nancy blew her cover by saying she's an undercover detective. Yeah, she kinda did. Nancy, good going, Nancy. There we go. Gotta take that. A clue which makes it look like Daryl is the culprit. And here's the videotape. The blackmail videotape. So as I think I mentioned, in the book, Nancy finds the tape inside Jake's locker, and she finds out that he has been blackmailing everyone. Let's find out how he's been blackmailing them. Hulk stealing those things. Drugs. Connie publicly defaces herself as the masked hero. Publicly plagiarizing. So here's what happens in the book. They see this, Nancy and Daryl see this, and then they start making out. And at the very, very end of the tape, well, George and Beth show up and they ruin the makeout session. At the very, very end of the tape, there's something there. Something interesting.
Hey, Nancy, need something?
I know you're the unknown winner of that judo competition. Jake Rogers had it all on videotape.
Yes, Nancy. I'm the mysterious winner of the men's tournament. It wasn't easy for me, and I'm proud of what I did.
Did you kill Jake to stop him from blackmailing you?
Are you crazy? Of course not. I didn't kill Jake.
Jake was threatening to expose you, maybe even make you lose your black belt, and he forced you to break your date with Daryl. Life would have been so easy with him out of the way.
I didn't kill Jake.
Didn't I hear you were dating Jake?
Hey, a girl can make a mistake, can't she?
I'll let you go.
Adios.
Adios. So we found the blackmail video, and we're going here now because we found that one symbol which allows us to solve that puzzle. Also, one of the hidden messages on the school board says, hey, look for his locker combo here. Evidence under his seat. So this is a complicated puzzle, but it's not too complicated. You want to follow the instructions according to all of your notes. A, G, C, L, X, E. So those are clearly all elements on the periodic table. You want to arrange them in the proper order from 1 to 92. And then follow all of the steps. So, where was number 1? Number 1 is here. And then it said to go... Huh? I'm so confused. Oh, yeah. Okay, so then it went like this. Up 2, right 1, 1, 2, 3, left 3, down 2, right 1, down 1. Then up 4, then left 2, then down 3, then right 4, that's right all of the way, down 1, left 3, up 2, right 3, up 2, left 1, down 2, left 3. Giving us a hidden videotape. So this is a puzzle they introduced in this version of the game, brand new puzzle. Let's talk to Hulk about being blackmailed.
I'm not into pushy girls. Do me a favor and bother someone else.
Jake knew you broke into the drug station. He was blackmailing you, wasn't he?
Yeah. He found out I stole the steroids and threatened to turn me over to the cops. It would have meant the end of my football career if I didn't cooperate.
And everybody's talking about which Nancy Drew game has the best plot. I'll figure out which one. You know, there's nobody in the school besides for these 3 students. Craziness.
What did he want from you?
You name it. Chauffeur, errand boy, bodyguard. He loved ordering me around like I was his slave.
Why did you steal the steroids?
I got hurt really bad in a game a few weeks back. Broke 4 ribs and cracked 2 others. I had to keep playing even though I was hurt. I needed to impress the scouts. Then I started taking steroids. It wasn't worth it because I was still in pain, and all my free time was spent playing errand boy for Jake.
Errand boy?
The last thing Jake had me do was deliver a note to Daryl Gray. It was in a sealed envelope, so I couldn't read it. My bet is Jake was blackmailing Daryl.
Did you kill Jake?
I'm not a killer, Nancy. I didn't do it.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah, Hulk confesses way too fast. I agree. Hulk is very quick with that confession there. Okay, so we've confronted everybody. Daryl?
So, how'd your date go with the mysterious note-leaving guy?
Let's just say he almost took my breath away.
Good, so I'm still in the running for you.
Really, Daryl?
Daryl, I'm not interested.
Okay, I get the picture.
So, with the prices I was going to complain. I think I did this in my walkthrough for the original one. The prices behind him, on the menu behind him, don't match up with the prices in the actual menu.
Hulk Sanchez said he saw you delivering an envelope to Jake.
Okay, so I gave him an envelope. Big deal. It was about a school project I'm working on. Hey, what is it with all these questions? I'm really starting to wonder who you are exactly, Nancy Drew. I'm out of here. If Maxine drops by, make up a good excuse about why I had to leave. See you around, Nancy.
So Daryl throws a whiny baby fit and leaves. You know, there's only one employee here, so I guess it's not that bad, but still.
Nancy, you look terrible. What happened to you? Are you okay?
Somebody set a booby trap for me in the school. I'm pretty sure it was Mitch Dillon who set it up.
Okay, we'll handle this and get Mitch off the street. We can't charge him now or we'll blow our cover, but once this investigation is done, I guarantee you he'll pay for this.
I found the videotape Jake made. It shows some students that Jake was blackmailing.
Was one of the students Daryl Gray?
No.
That's surprising. My intuition says that Blondie Burger Boy is involved in this somehow. A good lead, but we really need to find that journal of Jake's.
I think a student may have killed Jake because he was blackmailing him, or her.
You're getting great leads, but think and may have are not good enough. We need to find hard evidence, like Jake's journal.
Daryl mentioned that you had lost something last week?
Yes. I lost my wallet. A lot of my undercover contact information is in the wallet, including yours. You can imagine what would happen if that information fell into the wrong hands.
Oh no, detective.
Did you ever find it?
It was in my hotel room all along. I think I was drinking too much coffee, starting to affect my mind.
Oh, Steve.
Bye, Uncle Steve.
Goodbye, Nancy.
So, time to watch this videotape. And this is the end of the game. So like I said, in the book, this is at the end of the blackmail tape. So Nancy figures this out at the same time as she learns about all of the other blackmail things.
This is the story of a student council president gone terribly bad. Let's take a look at what kind of homework he's bringing home from Daddy's top secret military industrial aerospace factory. But what does Daryl do with this stuff? He's too stupid to really know what it all means. But he's not too stupid to know how much these industrial secrets are worth. You see, Daryl's selling out to our local air conditioning guy, Mitch Dillon. Not sure what a guy specializing in HVAC does with satellite schematics, telemetry encodings, and signature intelligence, but I'm sure whatever it is, it's not exactly legal. But it's probably worth a lot of money to Mitch to keep it quiet.
Okay, you know, in the original book, Mitch is not the air conditioning guy. Mitch is a Russian spy, because the book was written during the Cold War. So Daryl was selling secrets to the Russians. Dun 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 dun. So that's why it was crazy. We had to have a huge confrontation with Mitch Dillon. Brenda Carlton was there just being annoying. You know, Mitch pulled a gun on Brenda and was going to kill her. Very tense confrontation, but our heroes managed to stop him with the help of Daryl, and everybody lived happily ever after. Except for Daryl, because he didn't get to kiss Nancy anymore. Yeah, because Daryl's now lonely. Oh well, maybe he'll date Connie.
Breaking news, check it out. I found out who Mitch is selling Daryl's secrets to. This dude, can you imagine? This dorkoid is the ringleader of some kind of clearinghouse for military secrets. And Mr. Clueless just forgot his journal full of important notes like contact numbers, system passwords, project code names, amounts paid, etc., etc. And some other stuff I don't understand, but I can tell that this guy will pay top dollar to get it back. But just in case, should anything happen to me, I'm putting the journal in a safe place. I taped it underneath one of the book carts at the school, but I doubt he'll give me much trouble. Just a ton of cash. So if you find this video, come look me up. I'll probably be long gone from Paseo del Mar and tanning my bod on my very own private island, retired at 17.
Aunt Eloise? Is that you?
Also in the book, this takes place in New York. Not New York, but not in Florida. It's sort of closer to New York. Not the city, but the state. And there's no Detective Beach in the book, obviously. But this is new ending. Because Detective Beach is the culprit, and he just entered the room. People are still talking about the Nancy Drew games. Which game is the best?
Detective Beach, I didn't expect you.
I just thought I'd come by and see how you're doing. You seemed kind of in a hurry. Did you find the journal?
Yes, I found your journal.
My what?
Jake's journal. I found Jake's journal.
No. You said my journal. You said that you found my journal. Why don't we step into the living room and have a nice chat about where my journal is,
No, Steve! Steve pulled out a gun on us! No, Steve! I bet his name isn't really Steve at all. This is an evil villain. Is Aunt Eloise in the book, somebody's asking? She is not, no.
Oh, and why don't you give me your cell phone? I'd hate to be interrupted during our little tete-a-tete.
So, this Detective Beach, an undercover assignment, was just a ruse to get me to find your journal. You killed Jake, didn't you?
Yes, I did con you into this undercover charade, and you just ate it up. I mean, you had the lingo, the self-important attitude. You're a real Snoopy Susie, aren't you? But as far as murder goes, no. That was my former partner, Mitch Dillon. But stop with this delaying tactic, Detective Nancy. Where's my journal?
Really, Nancy should have locked the door behind her.
It's in the entrance, behind the tapestry.
What's the combination?
Mu Pi Phi Zeta.
That's not it, Nancy.
Mu Pi Phi Zeta.
You're trying my patience, Detective Drew. What's the combination?
Mu Pi Phi Zeta.
Hey! What the... Get me out of here, Nancy Drew!
I'm sure the police will be happy to transfer you to another set of bars. So long, Detective Beach, and hello, prisoner number 4321A. Dear Dad, case closed. Mitch Dillon and his boss, formerly known as Detective Beach, are on their way to prison. The police still don't know his real identity, but his trade in top-secret information has been stopped, thanks to Aunt Eloise's burglar-proof safe. Daryl has confessed to selling information about his father's military projects. Despite the damage this has caused Gray Enterprises, Daryl's father has forgiven him. Connie returned her trophy, but the judo club refused to take it and is opening their competitions to women next year. Hulk agreed to pay for the damages to the pharmacy, and Hal has gotten his scholarships.
Yay!
And I'm headed to the beach, where the only cover I'm going to go under is a beach blanket. See you soon, Nancy.
So what happened to Detective Beach's gun? Good question, studio audience. Good question, studio audience. Wop-bop-ba-dop. I can't believe he entered the same combination 3 times. Really?
In the smaller towns, I know there's going to be a ton to see and do. As a thank you for all of my hard detective work, PG Krolmeister has reserved a room for me at one of the area's best ryokans, or traditional inns. It'll be nice to finally take a break from solving mysteries and to spend a few weeks without danger and dark secrets hiding around every corner.
Yay!
I've already heard that the ryokan I'm staying in has quite a reputation.
Hooray!
I'm not sure exactly for what, though. Well, I'll find that out soon enough.
Scary monsters.
Join me in my next adventure, Shadow at the Water's Edge.
Like a bullet from a gun. How's it go? I don't know when to start rapping. Like a bullet from a gun, she arrives on the scene, a young detective who doesn't know the meaning of fear when she's on the case. No time to waste when you're face to face with an evil that is lurking, but you just can't see it. Resist, persevere, and the problem will disappear. You say you're in a jam and you don't know what to do? Get down with the Drew crew. Sneaking in a rubber, sneaking and a peeking over the horizon, who could it be? N to the A to the N, C, Y. Doesn't battle with her fists, but with her mind all the time, when she's solving a mystery. Dead boys and girls, your history, locked up. Well, your secrets are few. Wait, those are not the words. Misery in the room without a view. I don't even know the words anymore. Sorry, rapping fail. Oh well, thank you for watching, everybody. This was fun. I like this game. It's okay, it's a little short, but Mr. September is fantastic. I love Mr. September. Special thanks to the students of the month. That includes me, Mr. September. So hey, you know I'm happy.